Welcome back to April's Cozy Corner, a soft place for reflection, healing, and growth. Tonight we're talking about someone who changed the entertainment industry, not by becoming louder, but by becoming more herself. This is the story of Issa Rae. There's something powerful about people who create space for themselves when the world never planned to give them one. Some people wait for permission. Some wait to be chosen. Some spend years trying to fit into rooms that were never designed for them. But Issa Rae did something different. She built her own door. And in doing that, she opened doors for millions of other people. Not by pretending to be perfect, not by trying to become the loudest person in the room, but by being honest, being awkward, creative, observant, and different. And honestly, that's what makes her story so inspiring. Because a lot of us, especially people who feel overlooked, anxious, introverted, unconventional, or misunderstood, Issa Rae's success feels personal. She represents the possibility that maybe you do not have to completely change yourself to become successful. Maybe the thing that makes you different is the thing that makes you unforgettable. Issa Rae was born Jo Issa Rae Diop on January 12, 1985, in Los Angeles, California. Her father was from Senegal, her mother was from Louisiana. And even early on, Issa often talked about feeling like she existed between two worlds. She spent part of her childhood in Senegal before eventually returning to the United States. And I think experiences like that shape a person deeply. When you grow up constantly observing different environments, different cultures, different expectations, you become very aware of people. You become observant. You notice social dynamics. You notice who belongs and also who gets ignored. But that awareness will later become one of Issa Rae's greatest creative gifts because so much of her work feels real. One thing that made Issa Rae stand out was that she never tried to present herself as this perfect, ultra-confident celebrity figure. She talked openly about awkwardness, social discomfort, and feeling out of place, and that honestly connected with people immediately, especially Black women. Because for a long time, television often only showed one version of womanhood, one version of confidence, one version of beauty, and one version of success. But Issa showed something different. She showed quiet girls, creative girls, and nerdy girls. And that matter, representation is deeper than appearance. Sometimes representation is finally seeing someone think like you, seeing someone move through the world the way you do, and realizing, oh, maybe there's nothing wrong with me. Issa attended Stanford University, and while she was there, she began experimenting creatively. She wrote plays, created videos, worked on student productions. But what's interesting is that her success did not happen overnight. And I think that's important to talk about because social media makes success look instant. But most meaningful success is actually very slow. It's years of creating when nobody is watching, years of doubting yourself, years of feeling invisible, years of trying things that don't work. Issa Rae's story is not a story of instant validation. It's a story of persistence, and that's the part people usually don't talk about or celebrate enough. Eventually, Issa created a web series called The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl, and this changed everything. At the time, YouTube was becoming a place where creators could bypass traditional gatekeepers. People no longer had to wait for giant companies to discover them. They could build audiences themselves. And that's exactly what Issa did. But the reason people connected to the series wasn't because it had a huge budget. It was because it felt authentic. People saw themselves in it. The awkwardness, the inner monologues, the uncomfortable workplace interactions. It felt real. I think authenticity is one of the most powerful things a creator can have. Not perfection, not expensive equipment, not even confidence all the time. Authenticity, because people can feel when someone is genuine. I think one of the hardest things in life is realizing that some spaces were never designed with you in mind. Some people experience this in careers, in relationships, and socially. And sometimes that realization hurts because we naturally want to be accepted. We want to be chosen, welcome, and wanted. But Issa Rae's story reminds us that sometimes the answer is not begging harder for entry. Sometimes the answer is building something yourself, creating your own table, your own platform, your own audience, your own peace. And that takes courage because creating your own path is lonely in the beginning. People usually understand the vision after it works, not before. Issa Rae eventually partnered with HBO and created Insecure. Insecure became one of the most influential television series of its era. And what made it special was not just the humor, it was the emotional honesty. The show explored friendships, dating, self-worth, career struggles, loneliness, growth, and identity. It showed that becoming an adult is messy. And honestly, that message resonated with so many people because most of us are still figuring life out too, no matter how put together someone looks online. One thing Insecure explored beautifully was friendship, especially friendship between women, and I think adult friendships can be complicated in many ways. People grow at different speeds, people change, and people drift apart. And sometimes healing means accepting that not every connection is meant to last forever. Issa's storytelling often captured those bittersweet transactions beautifully. Not dramatically, not in a fake inspirational way, just honestly. And honesty creates connection. Over time, Issa Rae expanded far beyond acting. She became a writer, producer, entrepreneur, and media executive. She began creating opportunities for other creators too, and that says a lot about her character because some people succeed and close the door behind them, but others remember what it felt like struggling to get inside, and they help others enter too. That kind of success feels meaningful, not just fame, impact. One thing I think Issa Rae's journey teaches us is that confidence is not always loud. Sometimes confidence is quiet consistency, showing up repeatedly, creating repeatedly, trying again and again, even while doubting yourself. And honestly, that's probably more realistic than the version of confidence social media sells us. Most people are scared while building their dreams. They just keep going anyways. Issa Rae's story is bigger than entertainment. It's about self-belief. It's about creating space for yourself in a world that may overlook you first. It's about embracing the parts of yourself that once made you feel different and realizing those qualities may become your greatest strength someday. Because sometimes the people who change culture are not the loudest people in the room. Sometimes they are simply the people brave enough to be themselves consistently. And honestly, that kind of courage changes everything. Thank you for spending time with me here in April's Cozy Corner. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want more reflective content about healing, creativity, self-growth, and meaningful conversations, you can also follow me on Instagram for cozy moments and updates between uploads. Until next time, protect your peace, trust your journey, and keep becoming who you are meant to be.